Okay, so here we go, step 2. Step 2 is where we put the story on hold and we get quiet. So what do I mean about the story? We're very protective of our stories. As if you push someone on their story, you can have some nasty, mucky results, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you where I saw one of mine, because the best way I can do it is to take ownership for me, and hope that that resonates with you so that you can start taking ownership of all of yours. Because any suffering that you have the capacity to heal it, but you're not going to do it outside of yourself, right? It's going to come from inside of you. That's where it's at, right? And that's what this is all about. So it really is starting to see ourselves and function in a different way. So I'm going to share with you where I could see where I was leading with the wound of having been ill with necrotizing fasciitis. And it's a biggie, right? Okay, I lost 2/3 of the flesh on my torso. My organs went into shutdown. I took damage to my feet, which, still bugs me a little bit to this day because I can't wear heels and I love heels. They finish an outfit, but things like that. Okay, so it's a biggie, right? It was a big thing, right? I also, through the process, managed to trash my marriage to someone who I love very much, because it was just also painful and way too big to deal with, right? So there was a lot of loss in there, a lot of heartache, masses of stuff caught up in that, okay? Now, one day I'm working with this lady, and she said to me, you're leading with your wounds. And first of all, I pushed it away. I thought, there's nothing wrong with talking about it, that's fine. Anyway, then the second time she said to me, and we're in a therapeutic relationship, by the way, she didn't just say that out of nowhere. The second time she said it to me, it made me really angry. And what I did was I totally employed these techniques. So I took all of the steps for the emotional processing and I practiced them. So she said, and I remember we were in her therapy room, I'm sitting on the floor, she's sitting on the floor, she said, and I'm sitting cross-legged, I think. And anyway, she said, and made me so angry, so what I did was I just dipped my head down into my arms like this, and I just breathed, and I focused on the sensations in the body, I focused on the feelings, I just really breathed. Now, initially, my mind was saying, what a bitch, what a cow this woman is. She has got no idea what I have been through. This has been really tough. I lost this, I lost that. You get me? All these thoughts are going on in my mind, right? So what I did was I just watched those and I just kept returning my awareness to my breath, and I kept allowing myself to feel my anger and be angry that it was okay. And so I kept breathing with that and I kept breathing with that. Now, what happens is when you fully meet something, it very quickly and instantly dissolves into peace, always. If it sustains, it's because somewhere you're resisting it. And that's okay, because everything is okay, right? Everything. So if we're resisting, we just get, okay, I'm resisting. That's okay. And it really is. So I got to the point where I met peace and I totally forgot what she'd said completely. And so I looked up at her and I said, can you just say what you said again? So she said, what I said was, you're leading with your wounds. Well, what a bitch, I thought. Instantly angry. Mad, right? So I dropped my head again and I just breathed. And as I breathed, and I suddenly thought, no, this woman hasn't done anything. Because she could say anything to me, it's just her opinion, right? I can either take it on or not. That really doesn't matter. And this is the thing, you see, that you in your peace, anyone can say anything to you, and it doesn't matter, because either they're wrong or right, you either take it on or you don't. It really doesn't matter. It's not of any significance. The significance is your reaction to it. So as I breathed and I allowed my anger, and I breathed and I asked for help, don't forget to ask for help. I said, please help me with this, let me see, let me see. And all of a sudden, I thought, wow, so does that mean I can't talk to anyone, about this then? And I don't really know what to do with it. And I looked up at her and I said, so does that mean I can't talk to anyone? And she said, no, sweetie. She said, you can talk to me. And I said, but then I'm talking about it. And she said, sweetie, I'm a therapist. It's my job. And what her point was, don't take those wounds into your intimate relationships, because this has been a possible new relationship with someone, and we both of us actually gone into exploring our wounds very quickly. And of course, that space should be for joy and connection and sharing the moment now, not dragging all the past into it. So I could really see that, my God, I am leading with my wounds. So not just the connection in intimacy, but all the relationships that we come into. How do we meet that person? What's the first thing we say? And that, you know, you'll know if you're leading with your wounds, because you'll find yourself talking about your sorrows and your woes very quickly. They'll be top of the list, if you like. And that just in realising that, and again, all you need to do is see, right? You just realise you're doing it, get soft with yourself. And so I realised that, and then not long afterwards, I realised somebody didn't know about something that what had happened to me. And it made me laugh, because I thought, wow, I didn't lead with my wounds. It actually had become unimportant. So my point is here that everything can become unimportant. Now, that doesn't mean that, I don't want to it doesn't mean that things are okay. This is again where we have to be very, very careful, right? Because we don't want to dismiss the story. The story is the story, and it makes us what we are. But it is not the truth of what we are. I hope that makes sense to you. It's really, really important. And also what's really important is that we don't dismiss the stories. It's so important that you're heard, because wrapped up in that story is unresolved emotion. And that's the thing that will liberate you. So there's two things, right? One is you can clear a lot yourself, and maybe all of it for some, that you can clear it by the breathing, by allowing, by letting it be. But the second thing is it's very powerful to be heard, and that actually to share your story is really important, and to share your story where someone listens with empathy to you. So empathy, not sympathy. Sympathy to me is where I say, oh, poor you, that's so bad. Did that happen to you? That's terrible. And that then I keep you stuck. And I start to put myself in your shoes, and I start to say things like, oh, that's really bad, I remember when this happened. Or a similar thing has happened to me. And that all it does is disempower you. Or I'll overtake it with my own story. Oh, yes, poor you. And the same thing happened to me, and I'm off. Right? Empathy is something else. Empathy is where I listen, and we can all do this, and this is something that we want to practice, right? So we can become amazing empaths. That's how we help people heal. You can do it anywhere. Is you listen, and you listen for the emotions. And you are out of your own way enough that you can listen in a very still, calm place, and you listen for the emotions, and that person leaves you feeling better, and they've no idea why. But equally, you don't take it on. You're not trying to fix them, okay? No fixing here. Just remembering, because in remembering is where you are a vessel filled with love, and then that love pours out to others. And the obsession with little I has disappeared. The obsession with the story is little I, okay? If you look enough, you'll start to see, wow, we're all telling the same stories here. We just wrap them up in different packages. And then we think, I think mine's more important than yours. It's rubbish. It's just repeat. It's just life on repeat. But we don't have to do life on repeat. And part of that we get to through the allowance of the story, okay? And then beginning to put that on hold. So part of being able to put it on hold is the acknowledgement of it, but knowing it's not what you really are, and actually making that choice, right? Make a decision. Yeah, do you know what? I really want to put the story on hold. I don't want to stay on the hamster wheel of drama any longer. So if you are ready to put your story on hold, now that doesn't mean it's going to be fixed right now. Right? I'm not saying chuck it away, because if it keeps popping into your mind, it's unresolved, and then I'm going to share with you what you do with that. So always honesty, 100% honesty with where you're at. But just to make the decision that you are ready to go beyond it now, will start to make incredible transformation. And like I say, just a reminder, that doesn't mean it's resolved or healed. It doesn't mean it won't affect you again at the moment. Remember, we're in a process here, we're on a journey, stay with me. Remember, dedication, commitment, practice. But one step at a time, baby steps, okay? And each thing you're doing here is so profound and so amazing, and I'm so, so, so proud of you. I don't want to sound patronising in that. I could cry with joy that you're here with me. because you are so brave and courageous and brilliant.